The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Yes, it's the night before the big feast, Thanksgiving, so I hope you're all excited for that. I'm doing okay with it. We have an awesome guest. We go into the state of South Dakota today, and my guest is a comedian. He just cracked me up with his own few antics with my intro. And we're going to talk to him in a few minutes, but before we get to him, I'm going to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. We got a few tonight. So, we got the McGee Annex in Rockland. Used cars don't get abused. Shop Kevin McGee Used for a story. Go to the library for real wholesale prices. Call Kevin McGee in Rockland. We have Pal's Driving School in Middleborough, setting up classes for January, February, and April of 2024. I got to hurry with that. Check the website. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Bulldog Sports Cards in Middleborough. On Saturday, December 2nd, they're going to be having a surprise New England Patriots Hall of Famers signing autographs there in Middleborough. We have Rodney's Kitchen in Halifax. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy there in Brockton is always looking for new scrap metal, wheels, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have the auto shop in Hanover, great mechanic Ed Rooney. Thank you. We have Giorgio's House of Pizza in Carver. We have Crazy Axe's Rec Center in Hanover. We have Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have New England Forescapes in Middleborough. We have good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We have Auto Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We have the Hanover House of Pizza in Hanover. They make great Sicilian pizza, Greek salads. They have awesome people working there and they deliver. We have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington, also on Route 58. We have the Gunrunner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough. We have Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Stell in Brockton. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have the Rug Resort in Northeastern, cleaning today for us. Healthier. Tomorrow, we have Eastern Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. And we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now I'm going to introduce young Mr. William Conway. And he's not related. Around here, we have a very famous realtor. I think he passed away, but his family's still running his business, Jack Conway Realty. You're not related to him, are you?
I don't believe so, no.
You probably never even heard of him. Okay, I don't either. All right. Well, what an interesting story. You look like a free-spirited young man. We talked. You're in South Dakota, and I've never been to that part of the country. Yes. And you're from New Mexico, and you're visiting someone.
Yes. Well, yeah. So I actually lived in South Dakota for like 20 years, and I've only lived in New Mexico the last 3 years. So I come back to South Dakota quite often because this is where my biggest following is, for sure.
Okay. Well, from what I understand about that part of the country, it's quite sparsely populated, but evidently it works for you because you obviously have a big following, like you said, and you're there doing shows this week, right?
Yeah, this week and also in December I got some stuff, and I'm competing for Comic of the Year here in January.
Wow!
So
good luck with that.
That'll be great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
But I'm definitely looking to spread my wings into some bigger parts of the country. That was actually what the move to New Mexico was about. It just didn't turn out that way. You know what I mean?
Okay, I understand. Well, are you from New Mexico originally? Where were you originally from? Where did you grow up?
No, I grew up in Iowa, actually, and then I moved to South Dakota from there. And like I said, I spent about 20 years in South Dakota, and then I spent the last 3 years or so in New Mexico. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you've obviously sort of been a Plains guy your whole life. Corn to Plains.
Pretty much. I'm a Midwestern boy for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Corn to Plains to burritos to Plains again.
Yeah. I do get around. I can't wait to get out east and stuff. Like I've never been to like the Boston area, or I've never been to New York or any of that kind of stuff. I would love to get out east for sure.
Well, definitely come east. Well, we can hang out. I'm hoping that the show will get you plenty of attention all over. I mean, that's basically how
I appreciate
it works.
that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
All right. Well, so you grew up in Iowa. Were you taller than the Cornhusks? You look tall, like a tall guy.
I mean, I'm just under 6 feet tall. I was actually kind of a runt in my high school, comparatively to the other guys. But yeah, it was a pretty general small town Midwest upbringing.
Okay.
I kind of grew up in a pretty toxic family or whatever. So, there's been a lot of hurdles to get over.
Of course. Well, I got the sense from just talking, I learned to glean people's personalities pretty well. And I sense that you're probably good at pushing the negative stuff, at creating dark comedy out of it in your material. Is that right about yourself?
Yeah, which tends to, I don't know, people get rubbed the wrong way about it sometimes because, I do suicide jokes and stuff like that.
Okay, well, you don't have to worry about that here. We can listen. If you you got to be expressive, man. You can't worry about what people. I mean, you got to care what people think if you want to be successful to some degree. Right. But you also have to. But you have to be yourself. You have to be you.
Yeah, and part of what I say, even in the stand, because generally, you get into that material a little bit, and you can always sense the uncomfortable feelings of the crowd.
Of course.
And so I've made a point to address it and say, look, it might make some of you uncomfortable that I'm talking about this, but not talking about this is why it's a problem.
That's absolutely right.
So maybe if we talk about it a little more, it won't be such a problem anymore.
Just so you know, I've attempted suicide. Not recently. I did cross over and come back when I was a teenager. I wouldn't do it now, but I have no problems with people joking about it because life is the way life is, the way this world is now. And I know. I mean, there's so many awful things going on, and somehow if you can make light of anything, if it's bad, if you can do it and it's a good thing. I mean, because there's so much bad stuff going on in the world. You got to try to. Sometimes you have to incorporate the horror, and if you have a way of flipping it over so people can crack up for whatever reason, then you got it going on. Do you have any comedians you aspire to? Anyone in particular?
You know what? Especially recently, John Mulaney really sticks out to me a lot. Especially with his recent, when he went to rehab and stuff.
Okay.
I actually just started. I don't know if I'm doing it for a while, but I know that at least I'm going to take at least a 6-month break from like marijuana and stuff like that, just so I can, just have some sober time and really focus on things and see where it gets me.
Okay. Well, you seem like you feel like you get your feet planted firmly in the ground now.
Yeah.
So when did
I got a lot of good things going already for sure.
That's good.
Being on Coffee with the Dog is a huge benefit to me.
Okay.
And it's really helped expand.
How's the dog like it? Does the dog like the coffee too, or is the caffeine keep him too perky?
Oh yeah. Chasing his tail all the time.
I got it. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so how many years have you been doing the stand-up bit?
Well, that's a bit of a tricky question for me because there was some big lapse in there. I did my first stand-up set in June of 2002.
Wow.
I did my first open mic competition. It was the last competition that the Funny Bone in Sioux Falls did before the club switched over to Nitwit's Comedy Club.
Okay.
And the way that competition was running is that the winner of that competition was going to get put in the rotation for house MCs for the new club for like the next 6 months. And it was my first time doing stand-up, first time on stage in that capacity.
Okay.
And I just went up there with like 2 or 3 stories that I generally told like to my friends or at parties or whatever. And I actually had to bite the bullet that night. I was the first performer after the host.
Okay.
And I ended up winning the competition.
Sweet.
Which, I mean, it was a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it was super cool that like the first time I took the stage, I won the competition, but what I won was a paying gig that I knew nothing about how to do.
Well, wait a minute. Well, hold up a second. I got another question. Was some of the material that you use based on the hardships that you've experienced? Is that why you mentioned? Is that what you meant when you said bite the bullet?
No. But in the industry, biting the bullet means you're the first performer.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Now I do.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the terminology. That means that you're the first one to go up. You're the one facing the cold crowd.
Yeah. And you got to warm them up. I get it.
Yeah.
Either that or piss them off, whatever works, right?
Right. I mean, really, your first performer often sets the tone for your show. That's for sure.
By the way, I think my tech guy's enjoying this conversation, so I guess we're doing okay at this moment so far. Hope we don't lose it. Hope we don't lose our edge, dude. Right. All right. So, all right. Well, so that's pretty cool. I mean, looking at you, and it's like if you've been doing this for 21 years, well, did you have like a pause in between? Is that what you mean by?
Yeah. So what ended up happening is, I haven't always been the best decision maker.
Who has?
Right. Well, I made a bigger boneheaded decision than most people in March of 2007. I thought it was a good idea to rob a flower shop when I needed some extra money.
Oh. I thought you were going to do it for a woman, a beautiful woman, and it was just a sign of romance to show her.
Yeah. No, we needed rent money.
You just needed money. You didn't care how you got where you go. You could have got it. You could have got it at a plumbing facility too, as long as it was.
I will say I selected the flower shop as I guess this place is as good as any sort of deal.
Okay.
It was a real boneheaded decision, but as a result of that, I was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
This was after you. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Well, I feel safe from you from this distance, but cool. Okay.
Oh, thanks. But I ended up serving 9 years and 9 months of that in the South Dakota DOC.
Okay.
I was released on my initial parole. And I did really, really good on parole. I actually was supposed to be on parole until March of 2022.
Wow.
But I got off parole in September of 2019. So I was off parole like 2.5 years early because of good behavior.
Good behavior, of course. And speaking of that, we're going to watch a little clip of William's comedy. And so far, he's cracking us up. And let's find out what he looks like when he's really enrolled.
We'll find out more about the robbery right here.
We'll find out about the robbery. We'll be right back to talk more about the robbery and all other great things that he's done.
Not what you think. I didn't do like the regular armed robberies, like I didn't rob a gas station or a casino or a bank. Oh, no. I robbed a flower shop. I know what you're thinking. Who robs a flower shop? That's exactly what I was thinking. Who robs a flower shop? They're never going to see that shit coming. And they didn't. It was the going that they noticed. Back here. Yeah, that was definitely a day that I learned that not every trail of rose petals leads to a romantic end. I'll tell you that. The cops, they had a super easy time tracking me down. I think it was all those Mylar balloons hanging out the window. Yeah, you know the ones I'm talking about. They say like, congratulations, get well soon. I was just missing that one that said, sorry about your luck.
Oh, that was great. Let's talk about that clip. Go ahead. Elaborate, if you would, please. What did we just watch?
Yeah. The one thing I want to say about that clip in particular is that there's a line in there that it took me quite a while to finally be able to say it without falling over myself.
Okay.
For whatever reason. But that's the day that I learned that not every trail of rose petals leads to a romantic end.
Okay.
That's actually a very difficult sentence to just spit out. Like, for whatever reason, my tongue just wanted to always get twisted up about it, and I used to mess it up and flub it all the time.
Okay.
And one day I just literally sat down and practiced that line over and over and over and over again until I didn't mess it up anymore.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't. I mean, good work. I mean, it's 48 times is a charm, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, so you've led an interesting life. but lately you've been cool. You haven't had any. I mean, obviously you're doing pretty well now. Do you have a family? Do you have wife, kids, or?
I am married. We just celebrated our second wedding anniversary. We got married on Halloween, actually.
Okay.
Which was really, really cool. It's both of our favorite holidays, really.
You ate cake and gave out candy on the same day, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like that.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually a really the day we got married was really interesting because my wife wanted to have a sunset wedding. We had our wedding in a national park on a cliffside.
Yosemite?
And we had it at sunset.
Yosemite? So what park was it? I'm thinking Yosemite.
No, it was the Sandstone Bluffs in New Mexico, which is only about 20 minutes from where we live.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know this, but it's not generally a good idea to rush a woman. It's a bad idea to rush a woman. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't see one with me, so the reason I don't have one with me is because I've rushed too many. But that's when I do stand up. I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And then everyone will leave. Okay, including all the women.
So I try not to. The reason it's a bad idea is because, when you think about it, when women are getting ready, what do they always say they're doing? They say they're putting on their face.
Makeup, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Well, if you rush a woman, she's going to put on the wrong face, and you're going to have to deal with that face the rest of the night. You know what I mean? So I really try hard not to rush my wife.
Okay.
But she wanted to have a sunset wedding on this cliffside. So, time's ticking. I'm watching the clock, and I know what time sunset is.
Yep.
And I'm like, babe, we got to hurry up. We got to go, And she's just like, why are you rushing me? And I was like, look, honey.
Because if we wait too long, it's going to be dark, right?
Yeah, I can do a lot of things, but I cannot stop the sun. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, so we got married in the headlights.
Okay.
With like a sliver of light on the horizon still.
Yep, that's sunset, all right. Okay.
Yeah. But it was still very, very beautiful. It was a great ceremony. It was
2 years too. That's great. Okay. And do you have children too?
So we do have children. She has a daughter that lives in Pennsylvania, and I have a son that lives with us.
Okay.
And we have some other children situations that are kind of complicated, but
yeah, I understand. Yeah. Okay, I get it. All right, that's fine. All right. Well, so now, how many gigs have you had so far since you moved? You're in Sioux Falls now, right?
Well, I'm not living here. I'm just.
No, but I'm not living there. But right now, but that's where you are currently at this moment, right?
Yeah. Yep,
okay.
Yep.
All right. So how many? What I'm asking you is how many gigs have you had in Sioux Falls since you came back from New Mexico?
Oh, I mean, well, paid gigs for only 2.
Okay. All right. Well, stay there. Hang in there. You'll be okay.
Right. Yeah. It's that point where, and I've done it to myself too by like removing myself from active. When you're not out there gigging on a consistent basis. It's really easy to get left behind. So yes. I've kind of had to reboot over and over and over again.
Okay.
But that's okay. I like redefining myself.
Okay. Well, I can see that. Your post on Facebook was great. So I guess that you spend a lot of time writing material. Is that it?
I do, and like the podcast helps a lot, for the creative juices and stuff like that.
Okay,
and
let's talk about the podcast.
I do a lot, and I also.
How long have you had this podcast
Coffee
for?
with the Dog.
Yeah, that's that's your podcast. Got it.
Podcast.
Okay.
Huh?
That's your podcast. I didn't realize that. I thought you were talking about
Matt Nappo's podcast, but I'm a co-host of it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Nappo's the main guy on that. It's his gig. He's been doing it for. About a year and a half, I think he's been doing Coffee with the Dog. We just did episode 500. So yeah, that's like a year and a half-ish.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. We talked to a ton of comedians, a ton of other entertainers. I got to interview Tommy Chong.
Wow.
Which was one of the coolest things in my life so far.
It is. Jeez, I wish I could interview him. You sound like him a little bit too, now that I think of it.
Thank you.
Hey, man. It's interesting. What are we rocking? We just stepped in. We did. Good thing. Hey, what are we tasting here? Good. That sounds like dung on the floor. Good thing we didn't step in it. Right? Yeah, remember that one?
Right.
That's probably before your time.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Cheech and Chong. I mean,
Yeah.
my favorite is obviously Up in Smoke.
Me too. Yeah.
And Nice Dreams is another one of my favorite ones. But I think there's a lot of people that don't necessarily like Nice Dreams all that much. But
You ever hear the song "Earache My Eye"? They did that in 1974 when I was 15.
that's definitely before my time.
And they're still together. I mean, they're amazing. They've been doing this for over 50 years together.
Yeah. You know, it's great when they get back together and do some stuff. I mean, Cheech obviously goes and does his regular stuff quite often.
Okay.
You know, I remember when we had him on the show, we were talking about him being on that 70s show.
Yep.
And Matt was saying how it seemed like a weird thing to have him on, you know, like intermixed with the kids and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but what you're not thinking about is like what Tommy represented was the quintessential stoner.
Yes.
Like you know, and like that was his role. And that's why he, you know, but I must say the funniest moment of that 70s show for me actually came from Mitch Hedberg.
Okay.
Because Mitch Hedberg had a small part in that 70s show. He played the guy behind the counter at the like little food shop.
I know the one that Mila Kunis and what's his name, Ashton Kutcher were hanging out at.
Yeah,
I got it.
Show. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mitch Hedberg, the funniest joke of that entire and I'm talking about the series. It was so funny to me because it was just, dude, it was so beautiful. Like Ashton Kutcher and they go up to the counter. The two boys go up to the counter, and they're kind of giving the dude behind Mitch Hedberg's character, they're giving him guff. And Mitch goes, I did not lose my leg in Vietnam to take crap from you kids.
All right.
And Hyde looks at dude and he goes, you have both your legs, man. What are you talking about? Like I said, I did not lose my legs in Vietnam. And I was just, dude, that was the funniest joke to me, you know? Like,
okay. So basically, it was a twist. It was a twist on him. It was a twist on and on itself. I got it.
My favorite jokes are definitely play on words and stuff like that. I'm a bit of a wordsmith, so I like to play with words a lot.
Okay, I got your words. Yeah, that's great. That's like, for instance, I made up a joke the other day. I was thinking, you know why cats like reading mysteries? Because they love a good yarn.
Yeah, they do.
I posted that on Facebook and nobody laughed. What's the matter with these people, right?
Nobody.
I know. Is that Mountain Dew you're drinking there? Is that a Mountain Dew? I had a guy on the show right here at the station 2 years ago that was a big Mountain Dew fan. He made a whole bunch of videos of Mountain Dew. They were funny as ever, I'm telling you. And he found me too. He came up here from Connecticut because it's not that far away. It's like it's probably about like 60 miles, but we had a hell of a show. We got about 1,000 views for that too. So you're in good company there. So it's a comical drink, and I guess it's a drink for comedians for sure. Obviously, you're good with it, right?
Yeah. No. When I first got out of prison, my text alert was, "Hello, Jack. There's a Mountain Dew from Talladega Nights." You know, when the little kid is at the
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, because I don't know, I probably, you know, this is a liter bottle, by the way, and hopefully it won't be gone before we stop talking because I tend to suck them down. Really
looks like you have plenty in there all right now.
Well, yeah, we just started. We just got.
Well, you know what it is. You got to use a straw. That'll keep it in longer.
I don't think that's true. I think I've been drinking faster with the straw for sure.
Really? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about some of the other. Tell me some of the other people you've interviewed on your Coffee with a Dog there. Dog with a Coffee, whatever it is.
Coffee with the Dog? What about
Coffee with the Dog. I got it right the first time. So who else have you interviewed on there that I might know of?
Let's see. Dave Landau, we had on the show recently. He's had Robert Blake on the show before.
Wow.
Jackie the Joke Man Martling comes on quite a bit. So
I'd love to get some of these guys on my show. I might get a chance to interview Bob Levy from the Howard Stern Show. And a bunch of people I've interviewed have had Stuttering John Melendez on too. But boy, Jackie Martling, I tell his jokes religiously. I mean, I actually, we have a guy here in Boston named Howie Carr. I don't know if he does a syndicated radio show on 5 days a week. And I told the dirty joke on his show that was so subtle, using a Jackie Martling joke, that he didn't even realize it until it was too late, and the 7-second delay had gone through. I'll tell her right now. I think we can get away with it because FCC doesn't regulate public access. So because what it was Deborah Norville of Inside Edition was visiting Brockton, Mass. Well, he was visiting Boston to be on his show. Now Howie has 2 cities in Massachusetts he loves to knock: Brockton, which is where I live, and Lawrence. So they're both working class cities. So I said, they were asking people, they were having issues with people going into diners and restaurants in the Boston area and having horror stories with, health violations. So I said this, I said, well, I was in my favorite diner in downtown Brockton once, and I happened to notice in the swinging doors to the kitchen that the chef was making hamburger meat and taking it and making patties with his armpits, patting it down and throwing them on the grill. I called the manager over and I said, sir, do you see how your chef is making those patties? And he goes, come back in the morning. Then you can see how he makes the donuts.
Oh! How many can you fit on there? How many can you fit on?
By the time, right, how many can you fit on there? By the time the Howie but Deborah Norville knew it immediately. She went mute. But Howie goes, oh no, I gotta go through. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, someday if I ever meet him, hopefully you can have a good laugh over it. But I may not be allowed to call back ever again after that. Yeah.
Right.
Because I was a caller. People call in to talk to him. That's right. That's what I was doing. People call in and talk about just whatever it is the subject is.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, that's good. So you've got you got that podcast going, and you've been the co-host since you began it.
No. I think I started co-hosting, I want to say in maybe mid or late July, probably, I think.
Oh, okay. So just since the summer. Okay.
Yeah. So it's been pretty recent for me. Yeah. That's why I say, it's his show, it's his gig. I'm just a lowly little co-host, and I help.
Yeah, but you know what? You probably have it. You probably have it easier because the co-host doesn't have to. The co-host just have to follow the lead. He doesn't have to think stuff through like I do every week when I do my shows. Right. Not that I'm not great at it, but I am. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do work hard to be diligent about doing some extra stuff and helping making the show better. Like I have been doing more about contacting guests and trying to get guests on the show, and I've also been doing some of the ad reads and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's definitely giving me more and more responsibilities, which I really appreciate because that helps improve my skill set for sure.
Okay. Wow, that's great. Okay. And if he ever has a seizure or something, you can take over. How fun would that be?
Oh my God! Let's not talk that into you.
I know. Well, I figure we can throw a little Doc humor in the mix. Why not? All right.
Yeah. All right. And we want that to live a very, very long time. Long live the dog.
I know you want to. Right. I mean, I guess in some cases you really do need a team. Well, yeah. I like to think of myself.
And and that's what it is. I really do. It really is a team effort because we got G.D. Fenderson is also on the show.
Okay.
And he's another one of the co-hosts. And yeah, it's a real team effort. We really play off of each other. Generally, all three of us are there every day. Every once in a while, one of us might miss a day. Like, I don't think GD wasn't there this morning. Okay. But I wasn't there yesterday morning. But generally, all three of us are there, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great show, and we're on like 30 different platforms. It's great.
Sweet. All right, Joe, how much time do we have left? What's that? Is that 27? All right, so we have 3 minutes, right? Okay, well, guess what? We're down to the final 3 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me.
I had a great time talking to you. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. All right. Well, listen, what I want you to do in the remaining time is to give shouts out to a few people that are going to see the show. You can start with your wife and all those people that you mentioned, just condense them. I'd love to, if they want to do my show, you have my digits. You can have them text me. We'll get them on here too, either by Zoom or in person. But so go ahead and then we'll wrap the show up with my snap and the way we began it.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Well, since it's like the Thanksgiving season and you're looking so festive, first I want to thank you, Harrison, for having me on here. I really appreciate that.
Okay, me too.
Big shout out to my wife, my son Zach, my sister Karina. All of you guys have been doing so much to help support me. And I mean, the list of friends that I have, like Troy and Linda and Pastor Jason and my friend Steve, and like comedians that have helped me, like Nathan Holtz and Preston Williams, and there's a lot of people. Jerry Irby is also like crucial to helping me remember who I am. Okay. Sometimes when I get down on myself, and those are some of the people that really uphold me and lift me up and help me remember who I am and why I do what I do. And, you know, if it weren't for the people that love and I definitely don't want to forget, Kelly Cool is the president. I have a fan club.
Oh, sweet.
It's called Conway's Cool Kids. You can find it on Facebook. And Kelly Cool is the president of my fan club. She does a wonderful job running that page and making sure that everybody knows what I'm up to and what I'm going to be doing. So, you know, if it wasn't for those people, I would be lost. I would be absolutely lost.
All right, folks. We're going to wrap up topic time. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. You have a great one. We'll see you next week when the season's a little more nominal for a while, and we're wrapping it up. So have a good evening. Signing off and rolling out.